Abuja, the nation's capital, has been described as a beautiful city because of its green areas, in line with the Abuja Master Plan. This feat has been a result of concerted efforts by the FCT administration and law-abiding citizens of the FCT. With that said, we now delve into our business of today on Focus on FCT to know more about the department responsible for maintaining the city's green areas. Welcome to another episode of Focus on FCT on the Unity Station, NTA Channel 5 Abuja. I am Habiba Oladipo, your anchor. The Abuja Master Plan provides that 33% of the Abuja landmass should be reserved for green areas. This is to ensure an environmental friendly nation's capital city. The FCT Department of Parks and Recreation is responsible for developing and managing recreational centers in the territory. In an interview, Mariam George Jitabo, the FCT Director, Parks and Recreation Department, Rizkatu Abdulaziz, reveals measures put in place by the department to prevent individuals from building on green areas in the FCT, as well as the process involved in getting approval to operate recreational centers in the FCT. So, Mariam, let's get to hear more from your fruitful deliberation.
Many thanks, Habiba. We now welcome the Director of Parks and Recreation, Federal Capital Territory Administration, in the person of Rizkatu Abdulaziz on Focus on FCT. Thank you for gracing the program once again, ma'am.
Thank you very much for having me on the program.
Let's kickstart on this note. The Abuja Master Plan provides that 3% of land in the FCT be reserved for green areas. Is the department working with this document?
The mandate of this department is to plan, to design, to develop, and to manage recreational parks, green areas, and open spaces, along with the maintenance of the general greening of the city, that is, in terms of landscaping of the city. And this maintenance of the green must be aesthetically done so as to improve the aesthetics of the city, and we are doing this. But this time around, we have gone a step further. The way we have a lot of palm trees in some streets in various districts in the city, initially we were pruning these palms with chainsaw machines, and by so doing, the aesthetic appeal the palm is supposed to exhibit is not there, and we want to maintain this aesthetic appeal of the palms. So we now went out as a department and looked for professional palm pruners that prune the palm for us with cutlasses professionally. So we've done that in the villa. We have pruned the palms. You could see the difference between the ones that are being pruned with chainsaw and the difference in the ones we pruned professionally with cutlasses. So the aesthetic appeal of these palms on the city has greatly improved. That is one. Two, in relation with the palm pruning, we also aligned ourselves as a department to some mandates of the FCT 13 mandate level. Aligned ourselves to the fourth goal, which is about environmental sanitation and orderliness, and that is why we're pruning those trees for aesthetic appeal. When we prune the waste, the funds that are pruned off, what we used to do before is to take them to the dump site and dump. So getting this palm pruner, we now said, okay, instead of dumping, let us reduce the volume of waste we dump at the dump site. What can we use these palm fronds for? We now weave baskets out of these palm fronds. We get brooms out of this palm frond. And above all, we get our tree guards from the fronds. Because when we plant trees in some areas we need to guard them with baskets to save the trees from animal grazing or browsing on the trees. So we use tree guards, we use baskets. We used to buy those baskets at the rate of 3,500 naira per one. But now with this innovation of turning our palm frond waste to wealth, the pruners weave these baskets for us. So we don't have to go and buy baskets outside again. With this, we're saving a lot of funds for the department, and the basket that are woven, the pruner takes it and sells in the town. So by so doing, apart from empowering the youth that are pruning the palms and the people that are weaving the baskets, we are also adding to their income. With this, they can now have a little bit of food on their table. So this is what we're doing extra in the department this year. The penalties of defaulters of this is that they risk revocation. They risk revocation. Once you are allocated a green area and you change the land use, it means you have violated the rules and the regulations and the terms and conditions given in your letter of intent. So the person or such a person risks revocation. We revoke the land given to him.
Since the flag off of tree planting campaign in the FCT, has the department been able to address or actualize the number of trees to be planted in the FCT?
Very well, because we earmarked a certain number of trees to be given, and in fact we're very happy at the turnout. The people now are aware of this impact of climate change, and they have already keyed into this program of planting trees. So far we have distributed over 5,000 seedlings to schools, the NGOs, and even private and government organizations. We disbursed over 2,000 seedlings to Agric department alone. From the Agric department, they distributed this to various area councils in the FCT. So, and people are still coming up to collect more seedlings, and we're still giving.
Now your advice to FCT residents with regards felling of trees.
We can all see that climate change is real. We are all feeling the impact. Trees are part of the living things that protect us from this, that will help in mitigation of climate change. That is why we encourage planting of trees, massive planting of trees. In as much as we encourage massive planting of trees, it means we discourage tree felling. Felling of trees have adverse effect on the environment. And when the environment is adversely affected, everything on earth is affected. So we kick against felling of trees. Quite all right. The policy allows trees to be removed if there's going to be a development, because Abuja is still developing. We cannot ask people not to develop. But if you must develop a plot of land, which means you have to remove some trees, you have to take permission from this department. We take the census of the number of trees you want to remove, and we advise, if possible, some should be saved. Per adventure that some trees have to go, we take the number of trees and we ensure and enforce that after development, you plant back the number of trees, or even before you finish your development, we give you a site within the city. If there is no enough space within the plot you want to plant, you want to develop, we give you a site in the city, you plant double the number of trees you want to remove from your plot.
Overgrown trees and flowers have continued to raise a cause for concern for residents. What is your department doing about this?
On a daily basis, we go out to prune trees. That is part of the tree maintenance. You know, the city is large and it's growing. It's growing. But we take them street by street, one by one. We are working seriously towards ensuring that we prune these trees so that they don't pose danger to both motorists, pedestrians, and even the property owners along where we have these trees. So we are really maintaining our trees. We're pruning trees.
With the third wave of COVID-19 here with us, what is the department doing, especially at recreational parks, to curtail the spread of the virus?
To curtail the spread of the virus, we ensure that all park operators adhere strictly to the COVID protocols. There shouldn't be overpopulation in the parks. They should maintain the social distancing. No mask, no entry is being enforced. So all COVID protocols are being seriously enforced and monitored.
And how can FCT administration make your job easy as the boss here in Parks and Recreation?
So far so good. Unlike what it used to be in the past, that overhead didn't used to come regularly. This time around, our overhead is regular. So by so doing, our work is becoming easier than it used to be before. So we get our regular overhead, no matter how small it is. If you get some steepings regularly, your work becomes easier. You'll be able to plan properly. But like Oliver Twist, we still want to act for more in terms of equipment. Heavy duty equipment like the tippers for cutting away vegetation waste. If we have 4 tippers minimum in the department, it will go a long way. In the aspect of the water tankers, because the dry season is approaching, like I said, the administration is really supportive. The administration is willing to give us additional water tankers this year. I just hope it will come in good time so that we'll be able to make use of it in this dry season. By so doing, that will alleviate the problems of watering of plants that we used to face in the department in the dry season. But aside from that, it's just the trucks, tipper trucks for evacuation of waste that we will need.
Finally, your advice to FCT residents as you strive to improve the aesthetics of the nation's capital.
My advice to the general public is that everybody should please cooperate with the authority. Government is doing her best in terms of providing whatever we need. We, as the resident, should safeguard these government properties, because we call it government property, but it is all our collective properties. We should safeguard. In terms of the landscape, motorists should not drive on our lawns. Don't drive on the lawns. Don't park on the lawns. Protect our trees. Don't cut indiscriminately. Then, protect your environment too. Keep your environment clean. Cut the bushes around your environment. And then you can also help us by reporting any violation to the appropriate authorities. Let's keep Abuja green. Let us all go green together. Keep Abuja green. Plant more trees to mitigate the impact of climate change for the good health and overall health of all residents and visitors alike. Thank you very much.
Thank you for creating time for us, ma'am. We do appreciate you.
Thank you very much for having me on board. Thank you so much.
It's now back to Habiba in the studio.
Well said there, as green areas do not only ensure environmental-friendly society, but also add to the aesthetic beauty of the environment. So let's join hands together to make Abuja the pride of the nation by keeping our environment clean and healthy. Next on the program is a review of FCT activities for the past week.
The design of the Railway Master Plan envisages Abuja as the railway hub of the nation, with the sheer number of lines expected to crisscross the territory. It is in this light that the FCT administration is collaborating with the Nigerian Railway Corporation for the actualization of the master plan. FCT Minister Muhammad Musa Bello disclosed that the operations of the Abuja Light Rail will soon resume depending on the reduction in number of COVID-19 cases.
And we realized that there was no way, absolutely no way, we could ensure social distancing. And as you know, unless we reach a very wide coverage of vaccination, and we have what the medical people say herd immunity, there is no way we will be able to run the light rail system and ensure that passengers are conveyed in safety. I think that is the main reason why up to now we have not resumed operations.
Chairman Board of the Nigerian Railway Corporation Ibrahim Al-Hassan Musa lauded the FCT administration drive of revitalizing the railway sector through the Abuja Metro Rail system that was inaugurated in 2018.
The FCT, Lagos and other state governments in their effort to get intra-city railway services developed. The NRC has also observed with utmost delight the Honorable Minister's commendable efforts in contributing to the President's focus in revitalizing the railway sector in Nigeria. The Abuja Metro Rail system, commissioned by the President and launched into operation in July 2018 by your administration and the FCT, is indeed a historical first-time collaboration between the NRC and a government entity of state status.
The Nigerian Railway Corporation is the state-owned enterprise with the exclusive rights to operate railways in the country.
Workers sweeping and clearing, flags flying high with decorations in green and white were obviously noticed at the Eagle Square, venue of the National Day celebration. This heralds the 61st Independence Day celebration, which is coming up on Friday, 1st of October. But what is the take of residents on the level of preparation?
I'm happy that Nigerian, we are moving forward despite the challenges, the calamity, because we cannot condemn our country because of things that are happening. The issue of crisis is everywhere in the world.
They have been trying their best. I can't dispute that fact, but they should try more to see how things will be okay.
Some people spoke on their expectations as the day draws closer.
We want the government to make life easier for everybody, for everybody, especially the youths. Can see young people here and there, roaming around, no job, no good job, everybody's struggling.
We appreciate our Mr. President for taking all this far. A lot of things happen, but it's a geographical index. I know that a lot of things are happening in the country, but we pray that our president will fix it out.
We have to look inward. Our leaders, each and every one of us, not just leaders, every Nigerians has to do what? Look inward and bring out their best. Change begins with you and I.
The story is different at Area 1 and the UTC, where there are no decorations or anything to indicate the mood of the independence celebration.
On our sanitation watch for this week, we shall be taking a look at the cleanup exercise which took place at Wuse Zone 4 by the FCC Ministerial Task Team on City Sanitation.
The contravening structures demolished are shanties made of roofing sheets, sacks and wood situated adjacent Sheraton Hotel, where Bureau de Change and other petty traders operate. This is aside the illegal cluster of furniture workshops close to the Sheikh Musa Yar'Adua Center that was also pulled down. Chairman of the FCT Ministerial Task Team on City Sanitation, Ikaru Atta, explains that the cleanup exercise is in continuation of the sustained efforts to rid the city of environmental nuisance.
We spent time in Zone 4. The FCT Minister Mallam Mohammed Musa Bello about a month ago actually came here and saw wide-scale contraventions at the heart of the city, overlooking Sheraton Hotel, as well as some other very strategic area, even close to Tudunwada Secondary School here, where people who deal in currencies operate here. We saw butchers in the valley, which we have removed. We saw illegal attachments. You can see all of them here. This is a federal government house, and I was sold to somebody. He converted it to a commercial issue, which is an offense. We are not arresting that one for today. The person added attachment to all parts of the house, which are all very troublesome and worrisome, disturbing contravention here.
Bureau de change operators have been advised to desist from operating along the road corridor, as doing so will attract stiffer penalty.
Anybody caught outside operating will be arrested and be prosecuted. The mobile courts are already on standby, waiting for people who are indulged in kind of these activities to be arrested and brought before it.
The team, however, recovered stolen manhole cover during the operation.
As community leaders and as very important stakeholders, our primary goal is to save lives, properties, and livelihoods, because these are the fundamental bedrock of any community.
And that's a wrap on our program for this week. You can reach us through our social media platforms shown on the screen for your questions and reviews. Like we always say, remember to keep your environment clean and report suspicious activity, as there's no FCT without you. Keep updated to the program, same time, same station next week. From me and the entire crew, it is bye for now.